Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of On the Paint Table. This is my weekly show where you see what I got done, what I'm working on, and what is coming up. So this week I painted some more A Song of Ice and Fire miniatures, and that was pretty much it. That was my week of painting this week. I needed to, I don't know, I felt like I needed to crush out units this week, and for some reason painting A Song of Ice and Fire miniatures is really, really relaxing. Maybe it's because they come pre-built, and maybe it's because they're just like nice big chunky sculpts, and maybe because I just miss painting rank and flank games. I just felt like finishing off like almost basically everything I had. It was everything I had that wasn't my Lannisters that I didn't have painted this week. So I finished off my Stark bowmen, another unit of Sworn Brothers for my Night's Watch, and then 2 neutral characters. And the only miniatures I don't currently own that aren't painted for A Song of Ice and Fire are Ramsay, Bolton, and Reek, which is Theon Greyjoy. So yeah, let's take a look at what got done and what is coming up. So here's the finished pile for this week. We've got another unit of Sworn Swords for the Night's Watch. Put me at 3, basically adding this to the Night Watch starter set. It puts you at like a really solid 40 points because you're not padding out your points with things like captains. And you can take Jon Snow as like your only actual infantry commander. Because I think the Sworn Brothers are just great on their own. And it puts you at 6 combat units on the table as well as 2 NCUs. So a grand total of 8 activations for a Night Watch army, especially when they're elite like that, is a really solid army. So my sort of go-to list right now for the Night's Watch is 3 Sworn Brothers, a unit of veterans with Jon Snow, a unit of Ranger Trackers on horseback, and then my 2 NCUs are Mr. Varys right now, and then the man, the legend, Maester Aebon, who heals up units real good. And it's a great, like, fast, hard-hitting, like, fairly elite army. It's pretty all-comers. So if you're looking at getting into Song of Ice and Fire and you want a nice sort of like easy all-in-one go, the Neutral Heroes box, along with, we don't need it, you can also use more mod if you want, along with a Sworn Brothers box set is a great expansion for the Night's Watch with their current releases available. And then I finished painting Varys and Littlefinger, Peter Baelish, to get my my neutral NCUs done in preparation for project number 3 of Ash's Paint the North. We the North Paint the North, which will be the Boltons, who should arrive, I think, on Monday. I just ordered my first 40 points of neutrals because I've now painted everything I have for Starks and for the Night's Watch. I painted up a unit of bowmen, Stark bowmen. This is my only unpainted Stark unit. The only other Stark unit I don't have is the Great Axes. And I'm not like enthralled by their rules, so I might grab a unit in the future. But for right now, like, I'll probably use them to break up painting Boltons, or to, like, you know, add something new when the Free Folk come out, as I think they might be pretty good against the Free Folk, just for like stemming the tide. And then I painted my Stark activation banners. I as soon as I painted them, I wanted some for my Night's Watch because they're so handy as a visual, just reminding yourself what's activated and what hasn't on the table, because they're really striking. They come in the game night kit along with the Lannister ones. I only got 5. I wish I had 2 more. My Stark army usually sits around 6 or 7 activations. And I think 7 would be perfect, actually. So if anyone's got any spares, loose ones, I could use 2 more for sure. And yeah, I think you could get them in the dice and tokens kit for the Starks, which I've never seen except for in one place, which was Lords of War, and I think they maybe kickstarted it. It was like a retailer thing retailers could buy. I don't know where, because I haven't seen it anywhere else. But that's it, yeah. So another 24, 25, 26 plus 5 is 31 models this week painted up, and yeah, and lots of fun. I just like crushing at these units. I don't know why. Probably because they're so chunky, probably just because, like, paint and rank and flank is just kind of, like, monotonous and therapeutic. So as soon as I finished them up, I was like, oh, I've got anything to paint now. So I started looking online for what the fastest 40 points I could order was for the Boltons. And there's a Canadian place stocking Song of Ice and Fire now called, what's it? Legends Warehouse in Vaughan, and they've got like the full stock of Song of Ice and Fire stuff. So I grabbed 2 boxes of Flayed Men, a box of Cutthroats, and a box of the Bastards Girls, and it's the dogs with the archers. And that's a good starting 40 points, because basically that plus Ramsay in command. No, Ramsay on the table plus Ramsay on the table. It's either Ramsay or Roose on the table, and then you've got Littlefinger, Peter Baelish, and Varys as your NCUs, and yeah, so it's like 2. It's basically 4. It's only 4 units on the table, but 2 of them are Flayed Men, and 2 units of Flayed Men is. I'll take 4 activations if 2 of them are Flayed Men, as opposed to having 2 more units of Cutthroats. I might change my mind when the
whatchamacallit's come out, the Blackguard for the Boltons, which are like that. They're like the Tully Sworn shields of the Boltons, because they look pretty neat too. But yeah, that's just, the cool thing about the Boltons. I've basically painted the whole north at this point, because I can ally them with either the Night's Watch or the Starks from our variety, or field them on as like an army on their own. It means I have 3. in 2.5 months, I'll have 3 painted armies. I'm gonna try and finish them before the year ends, because that's, if I finish those, I'm like pushing 1,000 miniatures for the year. I'll get over 900 for sure. And yeah, and that's 3 painted armies for A Song of Ice and Fire in since October. So yeah, pretty good end of the year. Here's what I'm working up in the near future. First off, I gotta paint Tad. Oh, Tad. And the reason I have to paint him is he's in the Christmas episode for Blackstone Fortress that I'm stoked to play. I'm gonna try and play it next week, because we've, as you just seen in the episode, we've resurrected Pious Vorn, and that's gotten the Tad in motion. So the Tad's gonna go have his little adventure from White Dwarf here, which we'll do midway through. It's recommended you start with it, but it means we can unlock the Ministorm artifact card by doing the special mission and take it through the rest of the snares and stuff too. And then I discovered, I think Owen in his bits bin had a Gargant, a Chaos Gargant. I'm gonna repaint it, and hopefully before the end of the year, we can do the Chaos Gargant scenario for this too, because I loved everything that came in this issue of White Dwarf. And it's just like I paint a couple models and we can try out these fun multiplayer missions and stuff too. This mission was actually written by one of the event guys from Warhammer World, who's super talented. He's just joined the design studio. This is like his first thing that he's done just for the studio, and it looks really, really cool. And then I'm painting up, because for those of you that were afraid that Titanicus was never coming back, after like 3 cancellations of people that were going to play Titanicus that just never came in, I'm finishing up my 2 Warhounds and all their extra arms, and then some new arms for my Warlord. I got them all airbrushed and actually like ready to paint, because they're super fast to knock out once the basic work is done, the basic colors are thrown down. My buddy Chris, he's coming up for his annual 2019 every other year, I guess biannual week of like gaming, and one of the things we're gonna do is Titanicus. He's painting up his own Legio right now, his own Chaos Legio. That he's going to be taking on the Warp Runners with. So I got to finish up my Axiom / maybe Venator Maniple, and be ready to throw down when he comes down. That does mean more Titanicus in the new year, and then I'm going to finish up my odds and ends for Varuna to give myself some variety. I got 2 more Orcs with an HMG and another multi-rifle Orc, and then 2 Fusiliers. I don't want to do my own. I used the Runaway Girl. She's gonna get painted up. I gotta find a Bipandra. I need to buy Pandora. I never thought I'd say that, because I never thought about using Bipandra. But in Varuna, I need to buy Pandora, and I never bought that one. I can't find that Direfrost here in Canada right now. I think they have one on Meeple Mart, but I don't want the other model right now. So I'm like, what do I do? I gotta find a Bipandra, because that's my doctor for the Orc, the Fuser Link that's actually Orcs and Kamaus. That I'm gonna add in, but this is my next like 5 models to paint to add to my Varuna, because I think Owen and I are gonna play some more Infinity this weekend, and I'm gonna try and get them done for then. And last but not least, I'm stoked to try out Here's Negan, which is like the best name for a board game ever. I've actually pulled out, cleaned, and primed all these to paint. They're actually sitting at home right now, which I don't have the models out, but it's basically Space Hulk, The Walking Dead. And you don't play as Negan, you play as 5 of his lieutenants before they take back Sanctuary, and you have to go through missions to progressively take back Sanctuary. But Negan is always like wandering around the factory behind you, and if he's not happy about how fast enough you're getting through the factory and cleaning it out, he'll just like attack you and stuff, or like murder a bunch of walkers himself. So it's a really neat game, because you're basically what you're vying for is how fast can we clear this factory, and how pleased is Negan with us to become a top lieutenant. So it's like Dwight before his face gets burned off, like a bunch of characters in the comics, different from kind of how you see them in the comics, because it's before Sanctuary becomes Sanctuary. And yeah, the models are great. I'm gonna paint them up, and it's 1 to 5 players, because there's 5 survivors in here. So it's one of those things that I can try out basically without having to wait for someone else to come in. You get 18 models, because you get 5 survivors in Negan, which is 6, and then 12 walkers, and they're all in like the same like pre-built PVC that all the other Walking Dead stuff was in, which was nice and clean, chunky casts. So I'm looking forward to painting those, just to have more. Of course, you can, if you're me, you can never have more enough zombies and survivor miniatures. These ones are super cool, so you'll see that in the next couple weeks. I'm probably gonna try and film it next week, which means I'll probably try and crush out those 18 models over the course of the weekend, as I'm just like painting and watching Netflix. Yeah, so that's the stuff that's coming up.
So I got another 31 models painted. That takes me to 843 for the year so far. And between the Boltons, who are going to be another 24, and 8 is 32, 33, 34 with Ramsey and Theon. And then 18 from here is Negan. I should, and then all the odds and ends like the Vernon stuff, I should get over 900 by the end of the year. I don't think I'm going to do 1,000. A lot of people want me to go for 1,000, which is like someone wanted me to go for 1095 because 3 models a day, and I was just like, there's no way. It's like 3 weeks left. I want to still enjoy what I'm doing. I can't just, if I painted every day, I could 100% do it, but it's like, it's just suffering. It's not painting to enjoy it. I enjoy painting. I like painting miniatures. So, yeah, I'll probably get over 900. That's where we're gonna get to, power level 900 for this year, and that means maybe next year I get to 1,000. Although there is a big bucket in the other room of Sisters of Battle sitting in paint strip right now. That's happening. I don't think I'm gonna get done before the year ends, but it depends. It depends on if the chapter approved book shows up here, and I'm really excited about it. And the beta comics is really cool. Maybe, I don't know if there's 100 of them in there. We'll see. But anyway, we'll see you next week for more on the paint table. But if you want to check out my review of Vigilus Defiant, the first campaign book of this new 2-part campaign series that GW is doing for Warhammer 40k, you can click up here. That went up today as well. And you can hear my TLDR version of the story as it's unfolding currently, and then we'll do a walkthrough of the stratagems and special stuff for the new specialist detachments, which is like it's basically I don't know how to put it. It's basically the way they used to make sub-factions in 3rd and 4th edition 40k. It's kind of what they're doing here for the 8th edition of 40k. And this feels a lot like the Battle for Armageddon book or the 13th Black Crusade book. But we'll show you that, and you can click over there and check it out. And until next week, you can see what I got finished on the paint table. Thanks so much. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to support the channel, of course, like and subscribe and hit the little bell below so you get notifications when I post future content. I do post stuff 7 days a week. If you want to support the channel further, you can, of course, buy a t-shirt through Spreadshirts, buy a measuring gauge or objective markers from Death Ray Designs, or, of course, most importantly, there is Patreon. Patreon is what makes all this possible, keeps the lights on, pays for the studio costs, pays for the equipment, model costs, and everything else, and most importantly, puts food in my kids' bellies and a roof over their heads. Big thanks to everyone, past, future, who supported me. I do this stuff because of you guys, and of course, I will continue doing it as long as I can.